News 3 presents Race for the Cure live.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Willow Island here at the Alliant Energy Center for News 3's special coverage of the 18th annual Race for the Cure. I'm Susan Simon. I'm here with my colleagues and co-race chairs, Charlotte Deleste and Michelle Lee. We're here, ladies. Yeah, finally, it's race day. Yep. We have the entire News 3 staff fanned out all over the race course, and over the course of the next 90 minutes, we're going to bring you every moment of this very special community event.
We're so excited to be here, and we're so honored to be the sponsor for the 18th year. This is amazing. We are also, though, this is exciting, obviously broadcasting for the very first time on WISC TV3 and on channel3000.com. So if you're watching at home, we want to remind everyone to use the hashtag Race Madison. You can send inspirational messages to the people who are walking today or running today, and we will share them on our inspirational board.
And that is why we are here to support everyone in our community affected by breast cancer. Of course, to raise awareness, so important, but we also need that financial help to help out the wonderful organizations that help those who are fighting breast cancer in our community. And you know what? There is still time to contribute if you would like, right from your couch, right from your bed. All you need is your phone, computer, whatever you got. All you have to do is just donate. And we made it simple. Every dollar helps. 75% of it stays right here. All you got to do is go to channel3000.com and go to the link section for more information to donate right now.
Couldn't be easier. Now, the weather, we were really nervous about it, but It's not raining yet. The skies are a little threatening. It's a little humid, but it's dry. and we're grateful for that. Meteorologist Hattie McLean is with us this morning. She's over at the finish line. Hattie, are you checking the radar? What does the forecast look like?
I have the radar right here on my phone on the Channel 3000 app, and right now it is dry. You're right, thank goodness. Skies are very gray though, and temperatures are in the 60s. You can see on the radar map though that there are some showers that have just developed within the last 15 minutes or so just to our north and west, and they're moving in this direction. So I think we are probably going to see some raindrops here at the race. It's not going to be a huge deluge. We are not going to be rained out by any means, but there may be some raindrops at some time this morning between the hours of 8 and 10. Now, I mentioned temperatures are in the 60s right now. It's very comfortable outside. A cold front is moving through. That's what's setting off these showers. So temperatures are going to drop. This is the warmest part of the day right now. Temperatures will be dropping into the 50s with a northeast wind. But when you think about it, this is actually perfect weather for a race. Not too hot, not too cold. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s are good for running or walking.
They are.
Okay, that's actually pretty good, and that's a good omen for the rest of the day that the weather is holding for now. Thanks so much, Hattie. We'll check back with you in a little bit. What this is all about today are the survivors, people in pink t-shirts who are designated as breast cancer survivors. That's why we're here, to support them through their treatment and to celebrate their survival. The survivors tent here at Willow Island is sort of the main area of activity, and it's the reason that everyone is here. Our Danica Lewis is over there, and Danica, I understand there was a special ceremony earlier this morning to kick off the race.
Susan, that's absolutely right. I'm actually over at the social media tent right now, and as you can see, as I think Michelle mentioned, we have some really cool stuff going on here. We can actually see the pictures that you guys are tweeting and Facebooking in with hashtag Race Madison, but just a little bit of ways from here, it's about across the way, there is that survivor tent that really is the centerpiece of this here today, of the whole entire race. This is why we're here running today, right? Well, I want to show you a little bit of a very special picture that they just took moments ago with the survivors here at this event. They are having fun today. They are loving it, and they have every right to do so. You can see those bleachers full of folks just really celebrating life today and celebrating everything that they have going today at the race, hopefully celebrating a lot of money raised as well. Certainly, again, we want to be looking out for those pink shirts today. Those are our survivors, and if you see them out there, make sure to tap them, say hi, make sure to give them a big old hug is the message that we heard from the MC over there. Now, again, one more time, hashtag Race Madison is where it's at. You can send messages of inspiration, maybe something to remember someone lost to breast cancer as well. We want to see it all, and we want to see your pictures too from the race here today. But for now, we're going to send it back to Susan over at the race start. I'm excited for this, Susan.
All right, Danica, thank you so much. In addition to the people in the pink t-shirts, a lot of other people are wearing pink postcards or all kinds of messages all over their t-shirts in honor of who they're racing and walking for today. So this is a very inspirational event. It can also be a very emotional event too. And joining me this morning here in our race coverage is Mark Kane, welcome back from vacation.
It is a pleasure to be here.
And Eric Franke, hi guys.
What a great event.
Yeah, it's so exciting. The excitement is building. It's almost ready to start the race.
Yeah, the race starts at 8:25, so I need to get up on the pickup truck and get ready to go.
All right.
So I'll hand it over to you guys for now.
All right. Good
Thanks,
job.
Susan.
Okay, thank you.
You know, this race means so many people.
Yeah, there's so much work that goes into setting up all this. There's so much going around, things being set up all throughout the race course here. Susan G. Komen, South Central Wisconsin Director Michelle Heitzinger, you have worked so hard to get. I feel like we've interviewed her like every day leading up to this.
She's part of the staff.
This is awesome, but what a great setting with the reins holding off, and this will be a pretty special day.
Absolutely. This is our 18th year, and I swear we have pink angels up there that are looking down on us. This has happened the last couple of years. Bad weather forecast for the day, but it's held off until we get the race done. And seriously, last year we were driving off the island, trucks packed up, and then it started to sprinkle. And we knew we had some divine intervention.
Why is this race so important?
I think because it's the one day people can really concentrate on the disease. There are many days when women don't want to think about this disease. This is the day they can say, yep, I have it. I'm here surrounded by my sisters, and there are men survivors here as well. And it's also the day that I like to take to remember those that aren't with us, that were taken from us by this disease way too soon. And so it's just the one day that we can come together, raise money that will stay here in the community and help women in need. And it's our day to say, yep, darn it, I've got this disease, or I've had this disease. I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm going to celebrate my survivorship. I have my family and friends here, and that's our day to remember.
There's some really special places you've set up around Alliant Energy Center grounds here. We've talked a lot about survivors. Mm-hmm. You set up a special place for those who've lost those loved ones in their lives too to breast cancer. Talk a little bit about that and what you guys have done to establish those memories.
Yeah. We actually got a complaint from a gentleman who said, I came and did the race for many years with my wife as a survivor, and she has passed now. And it was his first year coming back, and there was nothing for him. There was nothing that he could reflect, there's no place to go to reflect. So we started what's called the memorial tent. And do you want me to hold this? Okay. And then now we have a place where people have pictures and a little paragraph about who their loved one was. It has candles, we've got benches. So we do have a reflection area now this year so that people can take that time to remember those that aren't here.
Why did you get involved in this?
Okay, don't make me cry this morning. I lost my mom to this disease 22 years ago, and it was 5 years before there was a Komen here. Our family didn't know anything about breast cancer, and she didn't either. She was so late stage when she was diagnosed that she lived 3 months from diagnosis to death. And so I'm here because I don't want another woman to deal with that.
Well, there's the pink angel who's making our weather work out all the time. Sorry, Michelle, but hey, you started out with what, 3,000 that first year back in '98?
That was a record for Komen. They said that was we were second to San Francisco for a first-time race.
And now you're up to what?
Well, 6,000. At the highest it was 12,000. But you have to remember, when we started 18 years ago, there were 4 major races. It was the marathon, the Sit and Demai, Crazy Legs, and us. There can be for a weekend now, and so lots and lots of things for people to do and support. So we're not just the only game in town anymore, but it is a very important day for these ladies and for those of us that are remembering too.
So much to compete with. Now, a lot of people have done a lot of fundraising for this event. Our crew, Michelle, Charlotte, and Susan have worked very hard. Where does that money go?
Well, that's going to stay right here. And actually, our most important and largest grant we have covers what we call barriers to service. And that is, we don't just get women screened that don't have insurance or have very little insurance, but we get them treatment. But now you don't have a car you have children to take care of, you are missing a couple days of an hourly wage job, our grant money, donor dollars that you guys are raising for us and that people are raising here will help pay for rent, utilities, transportation, so bus and cab fare, child care, food. We have food cards for them. And now it's been expanded to cell phone service because a lot of these ladies, these track phones are the only thing that connects them to their case manager and to their doctor appointments. So we cover what are called the barriers for these women, and that's even more important now too. So it's really a great day to be out here.
It is a great day, and we're going to let you get to the start line.
Thank you.
Join Susan Simon and get the race underway.
Michelle, thank you for all your work.
Thank
This
you.
is really an amazing event, and
This
you
is my
get a lot of the credit.
inspiration.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank
Coming
you.
together beautifully.
There are people all over the place now, thousands of people. Let's go to Jessica Arp. She's with one of the racers. Jessica?
Starting together. We're here with Jessica Hayter, who came a long way for the race today. Why don't you tell us how you ended up here?
Well, we're actually in town for something for my kids, and so I thought if they're going to do something, I want to do something for me. And I looked around and I saw this race, and I have an aunt who died a couple years ago from breast cancer, and I thought this would be a great way to remember her and to do something for a good cause.
Have you ever done anything like this in her honor before?
You know, I've never done a breast cancer run, and so this is my first time.
Tell us a little bit about your aunt and her fight. Why did you feel like you wanted to honor her this way?
She was a pastor, and she found out that she had inflammatory breast cancer, and so by the time she found it, it was at a pretty late stage, and it was pretty aggressive. And she decided to live the rest of her life with dignity going on, her bucket list cruise, having her family look after her in the last days of her life, going into hospice. And she was an incredible woman who fostered children and cared for others and went around and traveled the world. So it seemed kind of fitting to travel to do a 5K for her.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about where the money goes for this and what it might do, how do you feel about doing that in her honor?
It feels great thinking that all the people that I know that have had breast cancer and won, that hopefully this money will be able to be used to find the cure and find a way to just eradicate it, get rid of it, because it's such a horrible thing.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many people here today. I mean, thousands that come out here and do it, but everybody has kind of a personal story. What are you going to be thinking about when you're running this 5K today?
Well, one of my favorite stories about my aunt is when she went on her bucket list cruise. She went to the Mediterranean, and she was there in Greece. And nothing's very handicap accessible there, so she was sitting at the bottom of a monument, just looking up at it, and these Greece men came and said, well, we want you to see the top, so they carried her up to the top, and so she could see everything. So that's what I'm going to be thinking of.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Jessica. Obviously, you're here with a lot of other people with wonderful stories about people they're running in honor of. Thanks, and have a great race today.
All right, thank you.
And of course, everybody that's here, and if you're at home and you're thinking about somebody that you are remembering today or celebrating who fought cancer and won, remember to hashtag Race Madison. Send us your pictures, send us tweets, Facebooks, everything that you can. We really want to hear about the people that we're honoring and celebrating today. So for now, we'll send it back to you, Mark and Eric.
Thanks very much, Jessica. It is a day to remember and to honor those, but also to raise money.
Yeah, good reminder too on that. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, hashtag Race Madison. Go to that inspiration board and remember and obviously inspire those who are here today as well.
Yep, send a message and send some money. Well, you're also highlighting some of the reporting we've done leading up to the race. Breast cancer cases are on the rise in the African-American community, but black women often struggle to talk about it.
And Susan Simon spoke to two survivors who are changing attitudes and lives.
Gloria Ladson Billings and Frances Huntley Cooper are sorority sisters in pink trench coats in more ways than one. They're good friends, and they're both breast cancer survivors.
Yes. I always call it my worst sorority.
That's a good way to put it.
Because the initiation is just hell.
Right. Gloria is a vice chancellor in the UW School of Education. Frances is the former mayor of Fitchburg and currently serves on the board of Madison College. Both women were blindsided by a breast cancer diagnosis.
I was 44 years old. I was actually making my way to Madison. We were driving across country. I took a shower, discovered a lump. And so my first piece of news entering a new city, new job, new healthcare system was that I had cancer.
I was diagnosed in an older age at age 60, so 3 years ago, right after I had retired. So that was real interesting. You know, luckily I was going in for regular mammograms, and that's how I was found it.
Today, Gloria and Francis are healthy and cancer-free, thanks to treatments and awareness that have evolved over the years.
I was 23 years ago. I didn't have another African American that I knew in this community to go to. So I was really feeling quite isolated, and I think it's at that point that I decided I'm never letting another black woman go through this. So I often talk to people, I don't even know the people, but someone has said, call Gloria.
You know, this Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure, I was participating in that for years just because I believe in supporting women's issues and women's health. Right. So little did I know I'd be out there walking for a cure for myself and other friends.
For African American women, the risk of getting breast cancer is lower than for white women, but the risk of dying from it is higher.
We're more likely to have that BRCA gene, so we have a more aggressive form of breast cancer that often ends in death.
And now there's a push to change mammogram screening guidelines from age 40 to 50 for women of average risk. Do you think that's counterproductive?
It is in our community because some of our most aggressive cancers are at the early age.
I would agree with that as well, and I just think, like most healthcare issues, we somehow shy away from wanting to go to the doctor and get a diagnosis, but we really need to do that.
How has this experience changed you?
For me, you know, I never thought it was going to happen. So, but I always had faith, you know, to move forward and know that you can get through this.
This is the very best thing that ever happened to me.
Really?
And people, their eyebrows go up. But I said, you don't understand how I reoriented all of my priorities. Once I'd gone through and got on the other side of this, I realized this was another chance for me. And so I don't take any day lightly.
From this angle. Can you guys both turn a little bit this way? Right.
Thanks, Susan. Let's take a look now at the race map and the route that the runners and walkers will cover. The 5K is a 3.1-mile stretch shown on your screen in pink. There's also a 1.25-mile fun walk. That's in orange.
And it begins on Expo Drive right next to us, leaving Willow Island at the Alliant Energy Center. Heads for the southbound side of John Nolan. Important traffic note, too, if you're trying to get downtown today, all vehicle traffic is what on normal days is the northbound side of John Nolan.
Yeah, from John Nolan, runners go through the Bay Creek neighborhood, along Monona Bay on South Shore Drive, south on Lowell to Olin Avenue, south on Hickory to Pine Street.
From there, north on Gilson, back to the finish, the 5K route along Goodman Park on Olin Avenue, back to the Alliant Energy Center grounds for the finish. The walk route, as Mark said, 1.25 miles, John Nolan to Lakeside to Colby, back on West Olin, and we've got a team of reporters out there covering this route.
Yeah, we do. Matthew Simon is live. He's following all the action from a golf cart. Matthew, how's it going?
Hey there, Mark and Eric. We're on John Nolan right now. As you said, a key part of all of this. John Nolan is shut down right now, as you can see. As you can see, John Nolan shut down right now, and we are just waiting for John Nolan to turn into a sea of pink. So I want to walk around here as we see this shutdown and show you across the way in the Alliant Energy Center where these thousands of runners and walkers are lining up right now to really turn John Nolan into a sea of pink. And water is really significant today. They will head, as you said, to the Bay Creek neighborhood, and Bay Creek named after water. Well, water in the cancer battle quite significant because cancer patients deal with a lot of dehydration. It can send them into the hospital. So along the way today, if you've talked to anybody who knows about this race, there are those water stations, the heroes that will tell folks and cheer them on along with the Bay Creek neighborhood. We will be out here watching it and bring it to you as these runners, walkers go by with their survivor stories. Back to you.
Anybody with blue chip timing needs to be over here in this chute. Okay, we're changing it up. You guys are going to toss to Adam, so we'll be back to you after Matthew. Okay, we're going to get off at 8:20. We're going to get it going at 8:20.
All right, Matthew, thank you very much. Adam Schrager is at the finish line.
We're trying to hear over Susan Barkin.
Hi there, Mark and Eric. Thanks so much. We are, Hattie and Charlotte and I are here at the finish line, and this finish line is really more symbolic. I mean, it's the end of a race, but as we've been talking all morning long, it's really the beginning and the continuation of a journey that's going on. To give you an idea of what's going to happen here, the survivors, when they cross, are going to be escorted off to the side there. They are going to have their names read, and then they're going to be able to get a medal and a flower. Hattie has a copy of that medal that they're going to be getting. It's a pretty emotional moment here because you have a lot of family members that gather. People cheer for the people that are finishing the race, specifically the survivors. They're anticipating, we talked to the volunteer coordinator here, about 500 survivors are participating in today's race. Pretty emotional moment.
Now, Adam, I know this is my first race, but you have actually walked this race for several years. So you've actually witnessed this.
Yeah, we like to do this every year. My family, we have in my wife's side of the family, there's some breast cancer history. There's also some history in my own family in the recent past. So it's a pretty emotional moment for us. We've been doing this for years. It's a cool participation. And for folks, you're going to hear cowbells at the very, very end. Mercifully, if you have little kids like me, it's at the very end. So we'll try and, I know everyone likes more cowbell, but I don't know about more cowbell on live television. Why don't you get us updated, Hattie, quickly on the radar?
Weather. I'm a scientist, but it looks gray out there.
It's getting pretty dark out here. The skies are pretty gray, especially to the north. There is some heavy rain just to the north of us right now. We are likely going to see some raindrops here on the race course as well as we go through the morning, but it shouldn't be too bad. It looks like the heaviest rain is going to stay to our north. Again, still very comfortable. You guys, I've run races before. This is perfect running weather or walking weather. You're not too hot, you're not sticky. It's a little humid right now, but the winds will pick up and it shouldn't be too bad at all.
You've run the race. I've only walked these races. I
need my lounge chair.
There you go.
To represent the elite loungers here.
So we're anticipating once the race starts, it's a 5K, so what, 20 minutes, 25 minutes?
25 minutes.
And we will certainly have more from the finish line. Charlotte, Hattie, and myself are here, and when we come back with the special, we're going to end up going back to the start line where this race is set to start pretty soon. We'll see you soon.
And good morning. Welcome back to WISC TV3 coverage of the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure. You can see the first of 6,000, estimated 6,000 runners and walkers hitting John Nolan Drive. These are the hardcore folks, the runners on a 5K course now across the area. These are about the survivors and the folks we have lost to this battle. You know, so many folks in our community have a cancer story. 1 out of 8 women touched by cancer. And so as you see all these folks running across here, sure, it's raining now, but as the organizers have said, this is nothing compared to the battle we see women in our community have to face every single day that are facing their cancer battle. 1 out of 3 women we know by statistics in the United States are affected by cancer. 1 out of 8 affected by breast cancer. This is a huge battle for our community as these runners, as these walkers go by. That is what is on their mind. We see, especially folks like you want to tell your story real quick? No, you got to run. And that's what it's about today, running over this disease, literally trying to defeat these statistics. So that is why we need your help today. Make a financial contribution on channel3000.com. And remember the hashtag. You can see it kind of on my shirt, Race Madison. Give us your pictures. Let us know how this is impacting you. Michelle Lee standing by with more on what is such an emotional event. Michelle.
Hi, Matthew. You know what? The rain is really starting to come down now, but we're still having a good time, and I want to show you some of the great pictures that people are sending and sharing on Twitter and on Facebook. By the way, if you're at home, send an inspirational message. You can do that on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and use the hashtag RaceMadison. Colin Benedict says it's race day. Hashtag RaceMadison. These are the shirts that a lot of us are wearing here at News 3, and that's a picture that I actually posted of all of us kind of being goofy. We have seen a lot of great pictures from people. Becky Slotty says a shout out to all those survivors and caregivers. You are a woman, you can do it. Again, if you see anyone at the race wearing a pink shirt, that means that they are a survivor. So today is really, again, all about survivors. We've been talking about the risk. We've been talking about breast self-awareness, and something that if you're at home and you can't be here today, There are some 4 tips really that you should know. Know your risk, talk to family members, make sure you're getting screened. We're launching the News 3 Buddy Check this year, so on the 3rd of every month is a really good reminder to do a self-examination, also to remind 3 of your loved ones and your friends to do the same. We are talking about so many things today. We're meeting so many great survivors. Again, we're seeing so many great pictures. This one's from Leah Linscheid. Lynn is a 2-year survivor. I love that she's shooting out here in the rain. Also, let me go back to the breast self-awareness. Know what is normal for you. So do you have any kind of changes? Do you see any lumps? Do you have pain? And also make some healthy lifestyle choices. So exercising, eating healthy, having a healthy weight. Those are all things that can help you be more self-aware. But okay, I think we're getting ready to try to start this race. I'm going to toss it back to Eric and Mark, who are at the starting line for us, guys.
She said, I don't want to be called a survivor. I want to be called a conqueror. Just like factoids. I love that. Get to the next break. Do you want me to do the cue cards?
Yeah.
Yep, they're ready. They're ready.
Well, the walkers are going in the rain.
Yeah, these are folks that are doing the walking portion of the running course. So it's 5K in the rain. The rain has moved in.
Yeah, I think the front has moved through. It's getting much colder out.
But the spirits are still pretty high. Susan's still getting them pretty fired up behind us. As she pointed out, a lot of these folks have been through a lot worse.
Absolutely, a little rain is nothing compared to what they've gone through.
Now, and what we want to remind folks as well, you've got the social media inspiration board, either via Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. The hashtag is Race Madison. Also, you can donate right online. We've made it very simple for you at channel3000.com.
Just go to channel3000.com. We have links to the Channel 3 teams. Remember that 75% of the money you donate stays local, and 25% of that goes to research.
Yeah, and some important facts to remember about breast cancer, because that's what we're here for today, to help support survivors, to remember those who we've lost, but also to inspire us as a community to move forward and help fight breast cancer. Back in 1980, the 5-year survival rate was 74%, and thanks to events like this, that survival rate has grown exponentially. 5-year survival rates now for breast cancer have reached 99%.
That is remarkable.
That is something.
And that's why these people are here to raise money for that. And remember that breast cancer doesn't discriminate against race, sex, or age, or
socioeconomic, anything. Right. The goal today, $240,000. As Michelle Heitzinger, the race director, indicated earlier, we had 6,000 pre-registrants. More today. The goal, $240,000. 100% of those proceeds go to the mission. And at their peak, the pre-registration was 12,000.
Let's go up to Susan as she sends the walkers off.
We've got a memorial team here in memory of Peggy Badger.
Oh, thank you guys. You're 6,000 strong. There are 600 survivors in the pouring rain.
Jugs. Jonathan Jugs is on his way here.
Oh, here's one in memory of Sandy Schultz. We got a pink angel looking over us. Thank you, hon.
Thank you.
You know what? You can get through anything in your life as long as you know that you are not alone. And look at this show of support. Thank you. Clarence Crusaders. Thank you, you guys. Thank you. You've all been through a lot more than just a little rain, you know?
Amy's and they're doing the Encounter Crusaders.
Walk up here and tell me your team name. We want to get everybody on Channel 3 to see you and support you. Hi, guys. Can we go to one of our reporters that's in the crowd to talk to some of the people who are here? Jessica or Karen Swanson, where are you?
I'm right over here. Yeah, it's hard to see me in this rain and in this big crowd here right now, but we have a great group here who is walking today. We have Roxy and her good friend Jenny, her husband Tim, and also a couple of people who they just got acquainted with this morning, Valerie and Sandy. Now, Roxy, you are a 2-time survivor, right? Tell us your story.
I was diagnosed in 2006 and had went through treatments and then was diagnosed exactly 8 years later, almost to the day again. So it's been 8 years the first time and 10 months the second time.
So what does doing this race today mean to you?
It's being part of a sisterhood and a fraternity that nobody ever wanted to join, but I'm honored to be a part of it, and you know that you can survive this, and I'm. You know, I've done it twice, and all these women in pink were all survivors, and hopefully someday this race isn't necessary, that there won't be breast cancer anymore, so that's another reason why I race.
And your best friend, Sandy, tell us what you're going to be thinking about as you do this race today with your great friend here who's a survivor.
I'm just thinking about being very grateful that I still get to be here with my very best friend, and doing it in the rain is a very small price to pay.
And what about Tim here, husband? What are you going to be thinking about today?
Nice to meet you.
She's my girl. That's all I can say.
Oh, celebrating Team
Proud of her?
Yep, very proud of her.
All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this race and for all your support. You know, this is such a great cause, and we're all happy to be out here, even in this crazy weather, right? So we'll hand it back over to Susan here, who is cheering people on as they head through the start line right now.
What a great way.
People as far as the eye can see. It's pouring rain, it's chilly, and you're all here.
Shut up! Shut up and let people make announcements what is going on.
Oh, sorry. Okay. 50 Shades of Pink just came by. Thanks. Susan and Carrie. Mount Zion Movers. The Mount Zion Movers.
Okay, all right, we are back here at the finish line. We were waiting for people to come here. We're probably about 3 minutes away from people coming here, and thank goodness for tents and with electronic equipment. Okay, Hattie McLean, the smart one here, has details on the forecast here.
Well, it's raining, obviously. Temperatures dropped about 10 degrees, Charlotte, and you can feel that in the air. But again, this is nothing. We can all deal with this. The rain is going to continue for a little bit yet. Looks like the heaviest stuff is luckily staying to the north. I know this may feel heavy at times, but it is worse. It is heavier just a little bit further to the north. So we're lucky in that way. We still have a few showers that will likely move through the area. So it is gray outside. It's raining, but I'm only seeing pink. Good.
We're under a tent, thanks to Mark Schilling and Brooke Rayford, our crew here, and I'm holding it to make sure, you know, when folks do cross this finish line, survivors, there are about 500 of them that are taking part in the race today. They are going to be escorted to a special area, kind of roped off right over there. They're going to be getting a medal, they're going to be getting a flower, their names will be read aloud. It's a very emotional moment here at the finish line for folks who, and it's more of a symbolic kind of finish line than it is really a literal finish line, as we've been talking for a while, because so many people have been going through this and will continue to go through this.
All right, so while we wait for our first finishers, we're going to throw it to Danica Lewis, who is out on the course. Hi, Danica.
Well, hey, Charlotte and Adam. I am here at one of the more memorable places that I remember running this race, at least. You've got streamers, you've got the infamous, apparently pink half gorilla going on there. That would be Rob here. And there's music playing, there's bells going, there's flamingo hats, there's flamingos. Everything that a runner needs to make this happen and keep on running. This rain cannot stop these runners here. And I'm going to try to get over to Rob here in a second. Here we go. He is grooving and moving. Rob, how you doing here today?
Oh, this is great. I'm so excited the race is back.
Yeah, you do this every year, right?
Every year, this is our holiday because Bay Creek is a really quiet neighborhood. And so we celebrate the day when all the people come.
Yeah, this is awesome.
We're really hard. We're not working hard. We're just having fun. And everyone else is working hard. We want to support them in the race.
What inspires you to kind of motivate these people? I know you were a huge motivation when I was rounding this corner.
All the energy that comes past my house every year. It's awesome.
How about this rain? Come on.
Rain. Heck with it.
Can we see a little rain dance here? Okay, while we do a little grooving and cheer on these runners, we're going to send it back to Mark and Eric here.
As we're walking in honor or in
Well, these walkers are still heading out.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we're almost to the end. We've only got about another 100 yards here, and Susan and Michelle are still up there cheering these folks on. And Mark, as you watch these people walk by, you know, you sense that this is about a lot more than just a race or a walk or being out. They're inspired. The weather, obviously, we'd all love it to be better weather, but they're still inspired, and they're still doing it, and it doesn't matter.
All right, and as Susan pointed out, they've been through, a lot of these people have been through a lot worse than a little rain and a little wind.
Yeah, and a little added inspiration never hurts. So hashtag Race Madison. We've got kind of our social media thing going with this, Twitter, Instagram. If you got a picture, maybe you're, you know, you've been to this race before, you got a survivor, you want to remember, post it at our Instagram. Race Madison is the hashtag, Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook as we try to hold down the Raptors here.
And the wind is picking up quite a bit. Channel 3 has been a sponsor of this race for 18 years, and as the walkers continue to file out, let's go to Jessica Arp in the starting line. Jessica.
Yeah, hi guys. Obviously, we're all standing. Everyone's standing here in the driving range.
What's that?
Oh yeah, we're here with Suzanne from Verona, who's here with your family. Tell me about your fight. You're here as a survivor today.
I am a 10-year survivor and was very young, I think, at that time. And this is my family, and we come here to find a cure. We need to find a cure for breast cancer, and this is just, right now we're doing a memory maker here, because this is going to be a very memorable walk right now.
These team names are out of this world.
I mean, when you talk about memories, what do you think about when you walk this race?
Oh, I love that.
I get really emotional. If it wasn't raining right now, you'd see the tears. It's a reminder. It's a reminder of the journey. It's a reminder of the blessings that happen during this, and that we're all here as a community to fight the fight. This is what the walk means to me.
And you said your son was 2 when you were diagnosed?
He was 2. He doesn't remember, and my daughter was. Do the math. She's really smart. About 9 years old, and I'm here with my daughter and my son. And my family over there, and so when they get older, it means I'm that much farther out, and that is really great.
That's amazing. Well, we are celebrating you today. We're celebrating all the survivors today, and we're celebrating that people are just crossing the finish line. So we are going to send it over to the finish line where people are now get to go back to their cars and get warm.
Thank you, Jess. We are here with Rick Paul, who just won the Madison Race for the Cure. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So tell us a little bit about you're here. You were telling us from Iowa.
Yes, Muscatine, Iowa, and here with my girlfriend on a graduation party vacation trip, and ran it with her aunt, who is a survivor. So it was a great opportunity to come out and run today, support a very worthy cause.
So why come all the way from Iowa to Madison for this?
Well, it was a graduation party.
Double duty.
Yep, double duty on a, on a race day morning. It was a perfect opportunity.
You've obviously taken part in a lot of races by virtue of the fact that you won today's race, but how is, what's the mood? Is it different at a race for the Cure, something along these lines, when you see all the pink around and all of that?
I think it is. It's, you're a part of something, much bigger than your typical race when, you're here to support, something that affects, many, many lives. And it's an honor to be a part of such a, positive action.
Rick, what was it like for you to run with a survivor?
That was pretty cool. They go through a lot worse, I think, than running a 5K race. So
in the rain.
In the rain, even that. So that was, it's a great atmosphere. You can feel the energy, and it was a lot of fun.
I think boyfriend of the year right here.
Certainly, I would imagine so. Rick Paul from Muscatine, Iowa. Congratulations on winning the Race for the Cure and showing up here in Madison today. Support great cause.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We need to find you a towel now.
I know. He's going to go warm up. And we will, Madison's News 3's Race for the Cure coverage will be right back. Thanks, Rick.
Chrysler, Jeep and Ram, and Alfa Romeo Fiat of Madison.
On a windy, rainy morning, the 18th Race for the Cure, we have just about sent everybody off here from the starting line. Susan, we get Susan in here to drive. Well, you need like a robe or something? I mean, you're drenched.
We're drenched, but wasn't this fun?
It was unbelievable.
Can you believe the people that are here?
Unbelievable. And as I said to Mark, Who cares about the weather? They're inspired, and they are inspiring as well.
Exactly. They've been through a lot worse than this, than a little bit of rain. It's almost symbolic on a day like today, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really is. They've been through surgery and chemotherapy, and I mean, and you name it. So a little rain, we can all endure a little.
You did a great job out there, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Some serious elements you were dealing with as well. So great job.
You too.
Great job.
As the walkers continue, let's check in with our Matthew Simon, who is on the route. Matthew.
Hey there, Mark. We were walking alongside all these folks, so inspirational. One woman telling me about being out here for her future daughter-in-law with her grandchild. And so we have so many folks now behind us. Hey, tell me, guys, about your shirts. What does this symbolize?
Oh, Kitty's Kittens. It's for our mom who passed away of breast cancer in 2012.
So what was your mom's name?
Martha Green.
And tell me your mom's story about her battle.
She had breast cancer when we were about 4.
So for 10 years she battled.
Oh yeah, for 10 years she battled breast cancer. And then, yeah, sadly in 2012 she passed away.
And what do you remember most about your mom? I think a lot of folks remember their mom's smile. What do you think about?
Yeah, our mom was always like a positive person. And, like, even though she had cancer, she didn't let it like bring her down. She was pretty strong.
So what does it mean out here to you guys today to be walking in the rain? Are you thinking about your mom right now? Is she on your heart?
Yeah, she is. Like, even though there is rain, we're still having a lot of fun. And
Is this hard to talk about? It looks like you're having a little trouble because I think it's so emotional.
yeah, it is kind of hard to talk about, and like, I'm not very good at on-the-spot stuff either.
Well, you're doing good. What's your name, buddy?
Nathan Green.
Nathan, it's nice to meet you. And tell us about your team. How many folks do you have?
24.
And so we'll let you guys keep walking. We're going to walk with you. Nathan's mom, one of the many reasons why this group is walking out here today. There are so many women in our community affected by this. 1 out of 8. Mark and Eric will send it back to you as we continue to walk and learn survivor stories and those we've lost who this is in remembrance of.
Inspirational stories, everyone.
There's a lot of great ones out there. You heard that team, 24 strong.
Yeah.
A lot of them, you know, they worked hard in a long time to put together these teams, and they're all very inspired. And as we've talked about the social media effort as well to inspire people as well.
Yeah, let's go to Michelle Lee. She is at the Social Media Center. Hi, Michelle.
Hi guys, we're trying to stay dry in the social media tent. The wind and the rain is really coming down in here. I wanted to talk to you about some of the pictures that we're seeing, and actually I can't show you some of the pictures on the monitor. I need Hannah to help me in a little bit, but we're having some technical issues, so maybe you can take some of the graphics full back there, but we've had some great pictures. You can use the hashtag #RaceMadison, and you can send inspirational messages to all those who are walking or racing today. We will certainly share them on our live blog on channel3000.com and also on this inspirational board here. But I wanted to talk to you about the Wisconsin Well Woman program. I met this great woman. Her name is Donna Wood. She's here today. I tweeted the picture, and she's a survivor. She talks about how the Wisconsin Well Woman program helped her in a time of need because she didn't have enough insurance to make it work. So the Wisconsin Well Woman program was invaluable for her, and it's invaluable to a lot of women. And you know, thanks to Susan G. Komen, they are both helping thousands of women focus on saving lives. But we'll hopefully share Donna's story a little bit later. I shared it on News 3 at 10 a couple of weeks ago, but I would love for you to see her story because she is such a great inspiration. But again, if you guys are out here today or you're watching us kind of get soaked in the rain, you can send the hashtag, use the hashtag #RaceMadison, and if you do, we will share those pictures. We've seen a lot of great ones coming in from Leah Linshai, Danica Lewis. If you're out here and you see people in pink shirts, those are the survivors out here. Leah Linshai posted this picture of a 2-year survivor. She's only 23 years old. Such an inspirational woman, Leah says. We've had so many great pictures coming in from the start of the race. Jessica Arp tweeted that the runners are up. Oh, and Danica Lewis has a picture of our very first runner coming down. She's been in some of the neighborhoods, and it's really great to see the people, you know, kind of decorate their house. There were pink flamingos out on the lawn. Matthew Simon, of course, has been tweeting a lot of stuff as well. So I think a lot of people right now out in the race who don't get paid to tweet are probably not tweeting because they're keeping their phones in their pockets. But now let's talk about the Wisconsin Well Women program. Donna Wood is the woman I just mentioned a couple of minutes ago. She has a great story on how the Wisconsin Well Women program helped her.
It's just like a hurricane, you know, a whirlwind.
The storm of Donna Wood's life almost went ignored.
My boyfriend actually made me go.
Donna went to the doctor for a lump in her breast, and her life changed in a heartbeat.
The look on their faces just gave it away.
The diagnosis was devastating, but the thought of paying for treatment completely disheartening. Donna loves working at Mariner's Restaurant, but the benefits fell short.
You don't know if you're gonna, you know, how you're gonna pay for it. That was my biggest fear, not about myself, but about, you know, what is this gonna do to me financially.
It's very real. There's a lot of fear involved.
It is a concern Carrie Sievert has heard many times in her years leading the Well Woman program.
It's interesting because I hear from women, I don't have time to be sick. That's what they say. I don't want to get checked because I don't have time to be sick.
I mean, I would be ruined probably, so financially, and that would have been a huge stress. I don't know if my treatment would have gone as well.
The Well Woman program is in an unassuming spot, but its reach is tremendous, helping women pay for breast and cervical cancer screenings and procedures like ultrasounds and biopsies. In some cases, it helps women pay for living expenses.
That took care of my rent because as a server, I had no income every time I had to take off for surgery.
For Donna, it made a world of difference.
Because if I would have had to worry about that, that would have been depressing enough.
The storm of her life now passed thanks to so many people and leaving behind something beautiful.
Just to live every day and enjoy it. Everyone is in such a hustle and bustle of life that they forget to stop and smell the roses.
Stand by. I love Donna. She is such a great person. Again, she is one of the thousands of runners here today. I saw her. I got a picture with her. We think there are going to be at least 12,000 runners today, pending the weather, of course. You know, the goal today is to raise $240,000, and all of the money is going to the mission. That's 100% of the money goes to the mission. 75% stays right here locally. 25% goes to research and grants. But I'm going to toss it back to Mark and Eric. I think this one, though, is really one for the record books. We're going to be talking about this race for a long time, don't you think, Mark and Eric?
we gotta recognize our helpers today here. Check out Rick Bloomer, Simon holding down the tent, Jessica Arp over here, Kathy King, our photographer, Jim Abraham under here as well.
We didn't plan on this wind.
Multi-talented people. Jim Abraham here has shot Mark and I the entire time while holding this tent down right here. Pretty amazing stuff.
Karen's over here as well.
Karen Swanson, she is a meteorologist by day, a safety expert
and a tent
by night,
anchor.
Holding down the fort, truly. Here, it has been an amazing experience.
And we're not done yet. We're going to be on the air until 9:30.
Yep.
So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back live from Willow Island.
What's your name? My name is
Welcome back. We are live at Willow Island for our coverage of Race for the Cure. Everyone is gone, and some people are actually starting to get to the finish line already.
You guys are awesome. Yeah, that's right.
Thank
a lot
you.
of runners. There are timed runners, but can you get over the number of walkers and strollers and kids with, you know, tarps?
That's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
And we've been hearing stories, great stories from the course out there as well. Let's go live out to Danica Lewis with the latest. Danica?
Hi, guys. Well, I'm here with Tammy, and she's got a very nice shirt on here. Can you explain a little bit about this shirt and why you're here today?
My coworker ended up with breast cancer this year, and so we're running for her.
That's so great. What about this weather? It could be a little better, huh?
That's okay. She survived cancer. I can walk in the rain.
That's the spirit. Do you remember hearing that she had cancer? I mean, were you guys friends before?
Yes, we were friends, and I heard that she was going to be away from work for a little bit, and I found out why. And yeah, she survived, and she's doing well.
Man, how it's got to feel so great to be here for her and everybody else.
Yes, hopefully they find a cure for everybody soon.
Yeah. How is it to be in the part of this big group too here?
It's overwhelming because there's so many people, and I thought I could run this, but I'm a little bit
You know what? It's here. It's being here is what counts. And you're about to encounter some of the music and get your butt pumped back up again. Yeah. Let's take a little walk here because I know you guys are right around from the finish line. You know, it's amazing. I don't know if you guys knew this, but 1 in 8 people are affected by this disease. Does that surprise you?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, if everybody talks about all the people they know that have cancer, some sort of cancer, and this is just crazy.
Yeah. Is this inspiring to you guys, though, to be here for hope, I'm assuming, yeah? And to be running, walking for her?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for walking with us here today and for being here. We're going to toss it back to Susan back at the start of the start of the race here.
All right, Danica, thanks very much. I think all the walkers have left now. They're on their people are actually heading home.
Everybody's heading for the car and a hot cup of coffee.
You know, it's funny. I always tell my son the most difficult situations make the best stories later.
Yeah.
Remember when we went to the Race for the Cure and it was a monsoon?
Yeah. That's something we'll remember.
Yes.
You know, she touched a little bit on the statistics, and she talked about 1 in 8 women in the U.S. get breast cancer. And as I looked at those statistics as we were preparing for this broadcast, it's amazing, the numbers.
Serious.
230,000 new cases this year. That's why it's so important.
And a person dies every minute from this disease.
Pretty unbelievable.
You know, and it's hard for yourself to go through breast cancer. It's also very hard to watch someone you love go through it. So there are a lot of caretakers here that are just as important. It takes a village to recover from something like this.
And everybody really should think of those women and men in their lives and you know, think about them and what you can do to help them be more proactive about their health.
Let's head out to the finish line now. Adam Schrager, Charlotte Gilleste, and Hattie McLean. Hi, guys.
Hello. Okay, so it is raining, but you know what? These finishers certainly don't care. They are beaming from ear to ear with smiles and so much joy. And we have Elaine Brown here, a survivor. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Okay, so how was the race for you?
Awesome. It's so nice everyone participates, volunteers.
So tell us your story.
Well, I'm a 13-year survivor.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Family, friends, everyone. It's just awesome that everybody participates, help through the treatments. It's just so uplifting.
How long have you been involved in this race?
13 years.
13 years.
Yep.
And obviously this rain doesn't, nothing compared to what you've gone through.
Well, it's just, a little rain doesn't hurt.
Elaine, when you first found out that you had breast cancer, you talked about all the support that you got. I mean, talk about kind of the impact of what this race means in your family and your friends and Komen and the like.
Family and friends come, and where I work, which is Group Health Cooperative, they provide the sponsorship. They've been instrumental in doing that too, and it's just all the uplifting support through treatment and years after. It's just...
Wow. We appreciate all that you have gone through because we know it has not been easy.
Yeah, and we appreciate what you all do too, all the volunteers, sponsorships.
Is there a moment when you cross the finish line and you hear your name being called? What's that like?
Like this, all right. Another year, awesome.
Any words for people who might be fighting breast cancer right now?
They can do it. They can do it. It's hard sometimes, difficult, but it's just awesome to see all the support. There's so many programs available out there to help you now. And you should participate in those. It's really...
Don't be afraid, right?
Right.
Okay.
Thank
We're
you.
going to let you go get dry, Elaine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it. Congratulations.
Woo. All right. It's like,
how about that?
How about that?
There's a lot of rain, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, as we've been talking all morning, I mean, it's a symbolic finish line, as you heard Elaine mention. 13 years every year, she crosses the finish line, thumbs up. Another year under the belt.
It's almost like the heavens are crying tears of joy right now for everybody. So we'll send it back to you guys.
It was a lot of fun to run in this.
All right, we'll check back with you guys later. Try and stay dry.
Well, we have somebody who is really on the front lines of this fight, and that's Dr. Lee Wilkie from the UW Carbone Cancer Center, and you just finished.
I did just finish this race in this lovely weather today.
Hey, and your boys are over here. They're helping your husband. They're all helping. They're joining in the fun of holding the tent down for us. So, well, what an amazing cause this is, and I'm sure you've seen firsthand the results of the positive things that Komen has done.
Yeah, no, I can't say enough about how much Komen South Central has done for our breast cancer program, as well as breast cancer survivors throughout Rock, Sauk, and Dane County. They have been amazing at supporting everything from wigs to women undergoing peer support to navigation to Catholic Multicultural Center. There's so many different programs that Komen supports.
And the survival rate is amazing compared to what it was 20 years ago.
Oh, I've been in this business 15 years, and I can't tell you how much has changed over that time period. We have so many more women living with this disease and living with what the treatment effects are as well. And that's what Komen actually helps us understand through our navigation program.
That's an important message, that a breast cancer diagnosis is not a death sentence. There's a lot of hope ahead.
No, there is. There's a lot to live for and a lot to be thankful for, especially with all of the new treatments that are coming out.
A lot of the women who are newly diagnosed, your staff are the first people that they meet at UW Hospital, and it's an amazing group of professionals.
Yeah, we try, and we are very excited and thankful to be supported by the Komen Foundation.
And self-exams, all that stuff, early detection is so important when you're battling this.
It's immensely important to be breast self-aware, is what I tell everybody, and to get your mammograms and to know your family history. Another very key component to understanding the importance and understanding what your risk is for breast cancer.
Are we any closer to a cure?
Oh, I don't know if we'll ever say we're close to a cure, but I'll say we have lots of fabulous treatments that will put us in, allow us to have a lot of survivors.
Dr. Lee Wilkie from the UW Carbon Cancer Center. Great job.
Thank you.
I know you didn't really want to come here after running in the rain.
I did not.
You look great. You look great. And the work you do is tremendous, and we appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you for all you do. And the
We
fact that
appreciate
you ran today means so much to the survivors that are here. It's incredible.
Oh, thank you very much.
Good for you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dr. Wilkie.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back from Willow Island, and our live coverage continues.
It's making sure that we get to celebrate the things that they've learned.
Raise your hand if you're all...
And every day there are things to be learned.
Okay, good.
From writing to reading and math, students at Stoner Prairie Elementary School learn the core subjects, but they also make learning fun.
Our school recognizes a lot of special days and a lot of special teams. You think in particular about the Badgers or the Packers, and we wear colors.
Today, though, the color is decidedly pink.
You look very pink and nice.
Everywhere you look, from the classroom to the lunchroom.
It's very pink. I don't get much pinker than this.
You see a reminder that the race for the cure is nearing.
When it comes to race day, I'm always surprised at how misty I get when I see the sea of pink. I saw the pink there, I noticed it. And
Susan Schaff is the lunchroom supervisor at the school.
Welcome to lunch. Would you like some water to go with your apple?
And when she wears pink, it is deeply personal.
I was very fortunate because I've been afflicted with what I call cancer light. And I say that only because my first breast cancer was detected early.
And then 3 years later,
I was diagnosed again in 2005.
10 years now, cancer-free. For Susan, the race for the cure is a race for life. She and a group of survivors dubbed Pretty in Pink have been there every year for the last 12.
How may I help you?
And because every day there are things to be learned, she hopes a color can teach a lesson about life.
I just think it's an awareness type thing, and that's important for kids at any age, you know, K through 5, and the grown-ups. See you later.
We're on Willow Island for the Race for the Cure, and people are heading home.
We're still greeting and celebrating the accomplishments. We got people walking by with their medals.
Yeah, a lot of people have already finished the race.
Let's go back to the race course. Matthew Simon is there with us live. Matthew.
Everything.
Yep. I'm with Connie Horvat, who is a 62-week, he said 62-week survivor coming on Monday.
Yes.
Congratulations to you. What does it mean to be walking along the water now, taking all this in?
Just pure excitement and joy to be here.
And I think that goes a little deeper. You are truly, I would imagine, feeling lucky to be alive.
Oh, yes. Words can't explain.
Tell me about your breast cancer battle and why words cannot explain. Maybe you could put it into words a little bit, what today means to you as far as overcoming cancer, being told you're cancer-free. Tell us about that. And I know this day is very emotional. You just take it in and you look at the water, and it really, I think, hits you just how much today means.
Yes, it does. And to have my friends and family here supporting me.
And they're all wearing these t-shirts too. When you see How many folks are on your team, first of all?
I have 25.
And when you see all these 25 people wearing T-shirts that say Connie's Girls, what does that mean?
Just all friends.
Yes, it just means I'm just so grateful to be here and a survivor, and I just love life.
And I think that sums it up pretty well.
Yep.
Send it back to you guys.
A lot of emotion you see
Oh,
these teams put together, like we mentioned, 20, 30 people sometimes on these teams, and when they reach that final point, it is very emotional.
Yeah.
You know, when you have a stressful day and you're facing adversity, I want you to remember this moment.
Perspective.
And be inspired, right, by the people who, in this weather, made this accomplishment. It's incredible.
Yeah,
and it's been so fun seeing people's pictures and Facebook posts. Let's go out to Michelle Lee at the Inspiration Board. Hi, Michelle.
Hi guys, it's been really fun to see all the social media pictures that are coming in on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. You know, this rain has been really interesting, but you know, to hear and to see these great pictures from people, they don't care about the rain, they're tough, they're gonna make it, and that's what we're seeing online. So Jessica Arp sent this great picture, checking out folks, and she wants to get a skirt like that. I love the little tutus. Those girls actually just walked by a few minutes ago. Their tutus are amazing. If you are at home, you can go to use the hashtag #RaceMadison, and we will send your inspiration online and on TV. Look at this little guy. Stephanie Fryer sent us this picture, and his hair is dyed pink. So how awesome is that? And he's got pink shades. I love that. This one is from Matthew. He's been talking to survivors all day long. This is about one survivor named Juanita Bradley, 13 years in remission. And of course, we're also inside the survivor tent as well. So we've just got so many great pictures. We appreciate all of them. And we're going to have some good ones, I know, to share on the blog too. Mark, Susan, and Eric, back to you guys.
Head out to the finish line now.
They did. We're tossing to Danica.
Let's go back to the finish line.
Try one more time.
We did this already. Let's go back to the finish line where some more are rolling in.
Hi, thanks. So we, the wind picks up once again over here at the finish line, we enter people's lives in journalism at the highest of highs, the lowest of lows. They're challenging stories to tell, especially sometimes as it relates to things like this.
And you know, life can be very sweet, but at times we all know it can certainly turn sour as well. And the hope is always for a happy ending. But sometimes to get to that fairy tale ending, you need to slay a dragon first.
Anise extract and fennel seeds, one of my favorites.
Sugar and spice and everything nice. That's one way to describe Phyllis DeJoya and what she loves to do.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite thing to bake?
Chocolate cake with chocolate frosting.
Now you're talking.
The joy of baking seems rather fitting for the president of the Italian American Women's Club, and her name says it all.
DeJoya, that's what my name is, of joy.
Oh, is that what it means?
Yes, it means of joy. And Phyllis, in certain translations of certain languages, means sweetheart. So I'm a sweetheart of joy.
Oh, I love it.
But as we all know, life can serve you lemons. At the beginning of this year, she was diagnosed with breast cancer after her annual mammogram.
Numb. Didn't cry, didn't have a meltdown, just numb.
Phyllis's dad lived with pancreatic cancer for 20 years, also had prostate cancer, and eventually died from leukemia. Her aunt, also named Phyllis, died of breast cancer, and her cousin was recently diagnosed with stage 1.
There's so much cancer in my family that I've been expecting to hear that news all my life.
Complications from multiple sclerosis took her mother from her when Phyllis was just 14 years old.
She went in the hospital and was gone in 2 days. It was very unexpected.
After her diagnosis, Phyllis was questioned about her family history, and something on her mother's side raised a red flag.
Ashkenazi Jewish ancestry.
Jewish descendants from Eastern and Central Europe have a 1 in 40 chance of carrying the BRCA gene mutation. Great-grandparents on her mother's side immigrated from Russia.
So between my father's history and that background on my mother's side, they really wanted to run genetic testing.
Those tests came back negative. Phyllis moved forward with treatment.
I never quite understood the, courageously battling cancer You have two choices. You go for treatment or you don't.
Phyllis has now gone through 2 surgeries.
I survived the healthcare system. I don't feel like I survived cancer.
And 3 weeks of radiation.
I had the most amazing support network.
Because the cancer was caught early, she has a great prognosis.
It's so much easier to treat any disease, including cancer, when you catch it early. So take care of yourself. Get those regular mammograms. Don't put them off because your life is crazy busy.
She has now discovered a new love that has taken her out of the kitchen, coloring. She read that it's a great stress reliever, so she bought herself a box of 64 crayons and an adult coloring book.
It's really calming. I don't know why it works, but it does, and it makes me happy. And I can actually stay in the lines now.
Between the coloring, the baking, and caring for her best friend Zita, Phyllis reminds everyone around her to be joyful, and that attitude when it comes to life, especially cancer, is everything.
Thank you. It is still a bodacious set of tatas.
I have a good story. Phyllis DeJoya, I know you're watching. Thank you very much for sharing your story with me and with all of our viewers. Love you to pieces.
2 choices.
Yeah.
You either get treatment
or you don't.
Or you don't. Thanks, Phyllis, for getting treatment. Thanks, everybody, for coming on out here today. We'll be right back with our Race for the Cure coverage here on News 3.
Race for the Cure Live is brought to you by Don Miller, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep and Ram, and Alfa Romeo Fiat of Madison.
Welcome back to a wet Willow Island. Danica Lewis is out on the race track with some more participants. Danica.
Hi, Mark. We are right around the corner from the finish, but I want to introduce you to Mary here. Mary, such an inspiration. Thank you for stopping your walk to talk to us. Tell me a little bit about your battle with breast cancer.
Okay, I'm a survivor since 1999. It was found early stages with my annual mammogram. Please get your mammograms. Yes.
Yeah, it's a great message. And you told me this amazing story about your mother, too.
Yes, in the early 60s, my mom had cancer, which through the years and looking at her medical records, we think was ovarian. And she was like a guinea pig for chemo. She had 5FU shots that she would come and get monthly from Madison and then take it home and have shots for a week at a time. And just like all of us that got sick with chemo, she was very ill for about 2 weeks. Then she'd have a good week and then she'd go right back for another week of treatment.
But that is so amazing.
I'm thankful to her.
Absolutely. And we thank you. And you're here with a friend who's a one-year survivor, correct?
Yes, Diane. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yes.
And what do you think about your first year? Her first year here. What do you think?
It's awesome. It's awesome. All the support. It's a fun event, but it's also very emotional, too.
Absolutely. Well, I know it is wet. You came prepared with this poncho, but I want to let you walk the rest of this way. Thank you so much for joining us here. And here, a hug. I know they've been telling us to hug everything. Everyone here, thank you so much. We're going to send it back to you guys at the starting line.
All right, thanks so much, Danica. Boy, everybody's in such
fighting the fight of your life, getting through it.
Despite the weather, we go back out to the finish line where some folks are wrapping up. Let's go to Charlotte and Adam. We're at the finish line.
All right, back here, and we have got a survivor and our new BFF, Jane Link from Marshall. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been 10 years since I was diagnosed. I did my first race with a bald head.
After chemotherapy?
Well, I was in it.
Okay.
Okay.
And I saw a picture of myself in the newspaper. I didn't have my glasses on, and I saw me in the Race for the Cure, and I thought, that poor woman, she must have been exhausted. And then I put my glasses on and realized it was me.
Well, you're looking good today. Tell us about getting to the race this morning. It was quite eventful for you.
It was. I had the car packed for the picnic after the race that my family does every year. I tried to start the car, and the battery was dead, and I mean totally dead. We couldn't jump it with our other car, and I had to call AAA, and I was crying, thinking I would miss the race.
Jane, you were saying this means even more this year. You've got family members that are going through this. If you can't explain for folks kind of what's going on in your family.
My older sister, Peg, is on her 3rd bout with breast cancer. She started 16 years ago and has had, this is her 2nd recurrence, so she recently had bilateral mastectomy. My niece, 39 years old, a teacher in Stoughton, just had a bilateral mastectomy 6 months ago. I had a unilateral one, but now I need more work done. So it's we're trying to fight for the nieces and nephews. Men also get breast cancer, and make sure that a cure is reached so this doesn't have to impact people's lives the way that it has.
How do you process all of this? Because first it was you, and then now other people in your family, and they're getting younger.
They are getting younger. It's scary. Nobody wants to have that diagnosis. I wish that more women would insist on mammograms with their doctors. I don't care what the age cutoff is. I was 45, and I had been having mammograms. Mine was not noticed 3 months prior to a checkup with my doctor, and then I went in for the mammogram, and it was boom, there. And so I'd had a full checkup with her, palpation and all, and it grew that fast. So imagine if I'd have let that go another year. I wouldn't be here, I don't think.
Thank goodness you didn't let it go.
Everybody, please advocate for yourselves. Get your mammograms. Don't listen to the cutoff from the insurance and all that. Insist that it be paid for and get it done.
Great advice. Jane, thanks for coming by. Thanks for stopping here and saying hi.
Thanks for letting me have my piece, because I wanted to get it out to everybody out there. We can beat this.
Thanks to AAA for getting you here, too, for jumping your car.
Thank you, AAA, yes.
Now you can get onto your family picnic and celebrate.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a wet one here, Hattie, so far this morning. It's been pretty emotional here.
It certainly has
for everybody.
been.
But it didn't dampen anyone's spirits. It really didn't. Even through the heavy strain and the strongest winds, everyone still had a smile.
Yep, absolutely. All right, that's going to do it for all of us here at the finish line, and now we're going to send it off to the hub.
All right, Charlotte, Adam, Hattie, thank you very much. Everybody's letting up a little bit, but the survivor stories, those are so moving.
It's amazing, and that's the reason we're here. There are 600 survivors in the crowd, and they all have amazing stories of strength and courage. Aren't they? They're so inspiring, aren't they? They really are.
A big shout out to all the volunteers as well. They're putting in a lot of work in some really awful elements.
Yes.
And it has been a beautiful day, really, in so many ways, other than the weather. Let's bring in Michelle Heitzinger. Michelle?
Michelle, you did it!
Well, thank you guys for hanging in there with us today, too. Thank you.
So what are some final thoughts?
Well, wrapping up our 18th year, you guys heard from Dr. Lee Wilkie earlier. We've come a long way in 15 years. And again, you know, a long way in the 22 years since we lost my mom to this disease. And each year we keep getting closer and closer to trying to figure out how to prevent this disease. But if we're going to get it, we want these women to be able to survive and have a quality of life in that survival.
18 years in the worst possible weather, and look at the people who were here today.
I know.
That has just got to make your heart swell.
It does, because
the support of the community is amazing.
Yes, I always think if I didn't have to get out of bed today, I don't think I would have. So my hat is off to all of those that did get out of bed, showed up, were here, did their support. You know, a lot of times if you've registered, we've already gotten your money, you know, you can stay in bed and sleep. The fact that you got out, came here, showed your support. We talk about the ladies in the pink shirts and the men, but it's the people in the white racer shirts too that deserve a lot of credit, and being out here and supporting all of those that are in the pink shirts too today.
I love how when they're walking by, you and Susan are up on the back of that truck, and they want to share their survivor story, or somebody they've lost, or how many years that they've been able to stay cancer-free.
And that's, again, the inspiration for us to be out here. When you hear someone that says 15 months, and then you heard somebody that was 22 years, it was like, that's what it's all about. We want to keep that 15-month here for many, many years.
And the struggle doesn't end today. This goes on all year long.
It does. And again, it's those breakthroughs that we hear about that Lee's working on and the rest of that team up at Komen Cancer Center. And that's the stuff too, that the money from today, a portion of it goes to help fund that too. The big picture stuff. We concentrate on the ladies in our backyard that we have to take care of that are going to hear those words, you have breast cancer, but they're working on the big picture stuff. And that's again the inspiration and part of what gets me out of bed in the morning too, is that there is a bigger picture being worked on here too.
Yeah, you know, there are three of the most terrifying words our language, you have cancer. It's a club you never want to have to join, but God forbid, if you ever have to hear those words, you should take comfort in knowing there is a pink army out here ready to support you.
And that's, I think, the biggest thing too, and I have had some criticisms of people that say, doesn't breast cancer get enough attention? The statistic is still 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed. We have sheer numbers working against us. That means we have to stay in this fight, and we've got to keep working on this.
Well, Michelle, thank you so much. A success. And regardless of the weather, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We got to give a shout out to all our reporters who've been out there in the field today working in these conditions.
Staff members.
Photographers.
Yeah, it's been a team effort, and thank you for joining us. Our Dave DeLozier has also been out in the field, and here's a look back at the 18th Race for the Cure. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, everybody.
I race for the survivors, and I'm one of them.
I always tell people, if you've never done the Race for the Cure, just do it once. If you come and do it once and see all the pink t-shirts, you see the signs on people's back, people are running in memory of, sometimes you see a child running in memory of their mother or their grandmother, and it's a very emotional day.
It's a race about hope and promise. It's a race about, you know, fighting the fight of your life, getting through it, and being here with everyone else, the love, the support.
I'm racing for Jesse Fitzrandolph.
I'm here today for my sister Beth. This whole tent, the angels among us, that's a phrase Beth always said, that there are angels among us.